Hi there, me again. So, it's your friendly neighborhood stroke assaulter. Occasionally, friendly. So we're going to finish off the post-stroke depression piece. I'm just in the middle of uploading the post-stroke vascular cognitive impairment. Now we're going to talk about post-stroke fatigue. Right? This, for me, is the biggest problem. And because post-stroke fatigue is exactly what it sounds like. After your stroke, you get tired. Right? And some of the simplest things just tire you out, and there's really not much you can do about it. I don't care how much of the go juice you happen to drink, it doesn't make a difference. Right? So let's just talk about post-stroke fatigue, and then we'll go through sort of what that might look like. Right? So post-stroke fatigue is associated with mood disorders, pain, and negatively impacts your recovery after stroke. Right? So, following a minor stroke, about 23% within the first 4 to 26 weeks report having post-stroke fatigue. 31 to 53% at 26 weeks, and about 34% at a year. Right? So, there's another study done that about 35% at the 2-month mark was reporting post-stroke fatigue, and only 33%, so 2% less at 18 months. So there are some indicators of post-stroke fatigue, things that make it more likely. Include depression, low levels of physical functioning after your stroke, and pre-stroke fatigue. So if you're chronically tired before your stroke, there's a better likelihood that you're going to be even more so. Right? Now, what does post-stroke fatigue look like? Right? Post-stroke fatigue just means you're chronically tired, or things that you do tire you out. Things you used to enjoy, right? So, post-stroke fatigue includes a overwhelming sense of being tired and lack of energy to perform your daily activities. So, you are tired just getting out of bed, right? I've been there. Like, I need to get up, back on the pillow. I need to get up. And this isn't, I don't feel well, I'm not going into work today. It's not that. It's literally just lifting your head hurts. You may need to sleep for ridiculously long periods of time, right? So all of a sudden you've gone from, your normal 8 hours of sleep to now you're getting your regular 14. Activities that you used to do before your stroke now tire you out. You now have an abnormal need for naps or rest. I'm part of the pro napping agenda. Yeah, so I now know that post-stroke I get tired from things, and I need to take a round to go to ground and take a nap. And unpredictable reasons of fatigue for no apparent reason. Right? So all of a sudden, you just feel tired. You feel worn out, drained, no energy. Been there myself, still have those days. Right? And because you're getting fatigued easy, so let's just look at the realities. You used to enjoy doing a thing, whatever that is. Be that hockey, baseball, reading, in my case, airsoft, do I have the same level of stamina as I had before? Ooh, no. Do I get a bit more frustrated? Yeah. Am I able to understand the fact that I'm a bit more easily tired out? Don't like to admit it, but yeah, I am. I'm able to figure that out. Now, what does that look like, though? Right? It all depends on the day. There is no easy benchmark. There is no slide rule. There is no, you know, rubric, matrix, exemplar, fill in the blank I can give you of what it's going to look like when you are going to have these moments of fatigue. I honestly don't know. What is going to cause the fatigue? It could be anything, right? It could be a 20-minute trip to the grocery store that was supposed to be probably an hour, hour and a half out in the world, but you decided for the first 20 minutes or so we're going to spend at the grocery store, and halfway through what was going to be a complete shopping journey turned into 9 items in a basket, and you're done, right? So I can't help you with what is going to keep you from getting post-stroke fatigue, what is going to predict you getting fatigued, and how to abate that. Now, there are some factors that will exacerbate your post-stroke fatigue, right? One is, do you have another mood or related order or depression, right? If you've already got depression, right, or another mood-related disorder, that may also include in and of itself a sense of fatigue. So you now had a stroke, which is causing fatigue, in addition to your other mental health issues, which cause fatigue. Well, guess what? Fatigue plus fatigue equals more fatigue. Do you have a sleep disorder, like sleep apnea, pain, or anything else that will increase the likelihood that you will not get effective sleep, thereby decreasing the quality of your sleep? And disturbed sleep is a post-stroke thing. So it doesn't help you being fatigued and not getting the rest that you need to get rest. So if you're not rested, you become fatigued more easily. It can be a bit of a repetitive circle. And then any other post-stroke medical condition or medications can increase fatigue, such as dehydration, UTI, sedating drugs, thyroid disorders, right? So they're not going to want to give you drugs that help you sleep, right? So you've had a stroke, you don't need to depress the brain. Now, the treatment for post-stroke fatigue, part of it is education, right? Where you're going to be educated into good eating and nutrition habits, good sleep habits, letting people, or being able to learn how to communicate to people around you that, like, I'm done, right? My brain has had enough, my body's spent, I need to go lie down, right? That was difficult for me and continues to be difficult because, I'm going to be honest, it's like a sign of weakness, right? I'm done, I'm cooked, I can't do this anymore, right? And the last thing you want to do is come off as being weak, right? Part of it is planning, right? You're going to plan your day, and you're going to plan how you go about your day so that your activities and routines are designed to conserve your energy, right? And they're also designed to minimize the potential fatigue. Now, will you have to do that every day? Maybe, maybe not. Will this be a thing that is long-lived significantly after your stroke? Maybe, maybe not. Will how you plan your day change over time? Maybe, maybe not. Now, I realize there's no answers there because every stroke is unique to the individual. So the first week or two after my stroke, hour maybe in the world, and I was done, like completely cooked. Now I can do 3 or 4 hours, but it's still not the same, the same as it was before my stroke. And that depends on a lot of other things involved, right? with me personally, how much ambient noise is there? How much activity am I required to do? How much bending is there? Do I have to bend over to pick some of the stuff up off the ground? There's a lot of ambient noise or a lot of bending. I'm done, right? So now the chronic fatigue now creeps into your life, right? And just think about it. So we talked about post-stroke depression. We talked about the vascular impairment. Now we're talking about fatigue. Fatigue being tired, right? And there are no predictors of when, how, where, and what is going to tire you out. What tires you out today may not tire you out tomorrow. What tires you out tomorrow may not be the same as today. So if you're a bit of a rational asshole like I am, and you try to find links, right, to try to build a model that shows you at the end of the day how this post-stroke fatigue is presenting so you can try to work around it, guess what? You may not find one. There may be no immediately presentable links. So at the end of the day, you can't find that link. It's just a thing, right? So now you have a problem. You're trying to resolve your world. You're trying to make how you react and interact with the world better, but the world tires you out. How do you deal with that? Again, that's an individual thing, right? So, and now that because you interacting with the world has limitations, and these limitations are not obvious, and they're not equal, you now get frustrated because, hey, I could do that yesterday. And this isn't a case of what I could do before my stroke, what I could do after my stroke. This is a case of I could do that yesterday, but I can't do it today. Why is that? And it's just fatigue. But because you have these unequal days, you now have a higher likelihood of the post-stroke fatigue feeding into the potential of post-stroke depression. And that's why it's a perfect storm, right? You've got, I could be depressed, I might be impaired, and I could be fatigued, right? But now the impairment can lead to fatigue, the fatigue can lead to depression. But the depression could also feed into the fatigue. So there's no direct causal link between one or the other, right? So if you happen to have vascular cognitive impairment, which is also creating fatigue, you're now at a higher likelihood of having the post-stroke depression. And that's, the reason why I'm doing these videos, one on the depression, the one I'm uploading now on fatigue, on impairment, and the one I'm doing now on fatigue. So what can you do to help eliminate fatigue? Plan your day. Plan your activities. You may want to include the activities that are the most overwhelming, which are probably the more critical ones, like laundry, grocery shopping, meal prep. Right? The ones that will physically take the most out of you, you may want to plan those first. So if things do happen to go south and you do need to go to ground, your day's not a complete write-off. Because here's the other piece of that. You're going to plan to do so many things, and you get half of it done, or half of one of them done, and then your body's spent, your mind is shot, right? What can exacerbate post-stroke fatigue? For me, noise, ambient, transient noise around me that I have to try to categorize, classify, and figure out what it is. I'm hyper alert to noise. I was in a store yesterday, and I could hear the ballast in the lights, and it was driving me nuts. Fans, things that sort of are white noise-ish, just drive me batty, right? Make my brain hurt. Things that aren't congruent, right? Things that come out of nowhere for me. They can be a bit overwhelming. But I've got to learn to get through it, and that's what I'm attempting to do. It's not easy at times, but it is what it is. There's legitimately nothing you can do about it but work through it. Other things you can attempt to do to help eliminate post-stroke fatigue. And I know I'm guilty of not doing this as often as maybe as I should, asking for help. But again, that kind of goes back to the, am I weak, right? I don't need to ask for help. I'm a fully grown adult. I could do this before my stroke. I should be able to do it now. And lastly, when it comes to post-stroke fatigue, know your limits. Don't, and I've done this, don't push yourself. You're going to get to a point whereby, one sec. That's not what I need. I need a drug. I just can't find it. I'll get it later. Once you get to that point in your post-stroke fatigue, you are going to get to a point where you are physically spent, and you're going to like, you know what, I'll just got to suck it up, embrace the suck, and I'm going to deal with this for the next 20 minutes, and then I'm done, and I'll get home, right? I'm going to suggest those extra 20 minutes that you think you can just muddle through and try to swim through Jello, right, and get whatever you need done. Don't. I've done it, right, and I've paid the price for it, okay? And that can mean the rest of the day you're in, and possibly the most of the next day, you are in bed. The days are a write-off. And nothing is more fatiguing or depressing or depressive than knowing you are spending your day in bed and there's nothing you can do about it. So you're now even more behind on what you wanted to do, right? Or what you needed to do. So this is going to end the series for now on the post-stroke immediate issues. So this will be the end of the video on post-stroke fatigue. Currently uploading is vascular cognitive impairment, and you guys got to see the other day the one on post-stroke depression, right? And if there's something you guys want me to cover, please email me, leave something in the comments, right? I'm going to try to continue to present new and interesting and educational content on strokes, mainly through my eyes. And if some of my subscribers have some opinions or things they want me to cover, sure, I'll happily do that. The funny thing is, as I go through my stumbles and travels, when I know I'm having difficulty speaking or I'm kind of acting a bit off because I'm slow, I let people know, hey, you know, I don't mean to look like a dick. I just had a stroke. And I encountered a gentleman yesterday in a store who had a friend who was 21 who had a stroke, right? And he's 3 years post-stroke. So it's opened my eyes. I honestly wasn't aware of some of the things I'm now becoming aware of. And that'll help you, especially if you've got a friend or a family member, or maybe yourself have gone through a stroke, unfortunately. So if you happen to like what you've been watching over the past 2 months, please like, share, subscribe with your friends. If you don't, please, there are other things for you to do. You're now 18 minutes into a video that you could have stopped watching 18 minutes and 11 seconds ago, right? So let's just be honest about that. And if you happen to see either in yourself or someone around you the signs or symptoms of a stroke, I'm starting to get fatigued. Second 20-minute video of the day. You are looking at facial droop, inability to raise both arms equally effectively or at all, slurred, stuttering speech, inappropriate word usage for situation or context, inability to smile equally effectively or at all, inability to stand unaided, general body weakness or weakness on one side. Please immediately place that person in a position of comfort and dial 911. Something so simple can save a life.